we have Michael Cooper, who's an Inland Empire poet, Poetry IE board member, and father of two great sons, Marcus and Jonathan. His newest book, Uncity, Lean, is forthcoming from Alternating Current Press. For more poems and ideas, please visit his blog, which is poetcooper11.wordpress.com. Michael also creates Fractured Tentacle, a mostly monthly video series on YouTube. Michael Cooper. Thank you very much.
This is kind of the central component of the new book, and I'm just going to burn through it. It's kind of a love poem to my family and my city. Uncity. Because it's too easy to say this assemblage is made of us, as we in our communities are dismantled. The return commute through the street fight, I am transmuted to you through sound. My hands on your waist, your tears inches from my lips. I would recognize you anywhere, in any form, this falling into this family, this movement of the sun behind your head, and the faces of our children on your loom. We have slain the unicorn evils, with each hand fasting made friends with the dark. We have lain among the forms of the world and screamed the songs of longing. How could I leave you? How could I leave you among these blind working people? On my way home, I see two homeless tribes fighting over a stolen bicycle. They throw rocks at each other, wrapped in the light that springs from the dropped storefront windows. The mannequins on display leering through the broken teeth of the frame. As the ramshackled, defeated tribe speeds away, the victorious one begins to scream at one another. They tear at each other's faces. It seems so pointless to me as I get into my car and I drive off. But to them, access to a bicycle is a promotion. To them, access to a bicycle is a promotion. The freedom to collect cans and plastic stuffed into plastic bags that bow handlebars and outrider pegs. I watch them stand on pedals to move their heavy loads into the passing day, ruled by the overlooking saints. Often you, I remember the crippled man's crutch that I stole, the trombone. The crippled man's crutch that I stole was a trombone. I put you to my lips and blow. Oh, imperfect, I'm sure. My lips pressed to yours, this melody mine as I move the telescoping slide in and out to follow some thread of melody I found. Some thread I found, and I begin to weave in you. We are reborn in waves and arm motions until I pull myself into a ball wrapped around you, Victorola, with a disconnected speaker. Play Igor's Firebird Suite. Feel the pulse of the box while the needle and the turntable heat the grooves into this distorted signal where we are the lungs and the vibration and the composition and the deep movement of the horn sections and those goddamn strings celebrating return! Return this last moment, return! I smell your hair on my shoulders. I would find it in my car days later and smile. Your passage through my life is touchable as some beauty of all landscapes, sunsets. You hold me like an anthem to fight off the blistered feet, the mantra of the board. You fire in the night of those who would lay down and die. The street lamps extinguished and I hear the boys stir and I smile, ready to renew this cycle. And Kyle grins the grin of chains and fences. Our lives depend on knowing what to wear, what to say. They held a fashion show on the morning of our discovery of the trombone. Mute, I'm in my shower curtain frock and sheet regal in the neat nets we used to dredge the lake, stare at each other across the book gouged formica table as if we had nothing to say. The milk in our cereal so cold it leaves ice beads on the lips of our bowls. Outside, our lamb brays at the oncoming mailman, as if our lives depend on knowing of his approach. On the garbage scow of the sidewalk, the wind-hurled prow swings leeward to run south to rake up the slip ice of the catwalk. My friend, he ended himself, the grass still grows. The black ice weaves itself like leaves, undispersing the light, each hydrostat a pre-coded strategy of capture, each a blade. The stoplight cameras run out of film long before its money loses its value. Money loses its value. A mailroom breach, its sort left to the lichen, among the slots, in and out boxes. The people clumped together like fungi. Pieces of them are hacked off. Smaller stalks rise among the waist-high grasses that engulf our sidewalks, their letters lost. His text left unanswered. I didn't know Kyle. I didn't know Kyle. I didn't know you slowly loaded the revolver of late night. At my terminal, ASCII opens and closes its sideways mouth, the way each crowd has its yeses and its nos. The umbrellas bloom in unison to catch water in their leaves. To make popular love songs overhead. I watch their beats move. The vocoder matches signals predetermined to be melody. I think this is crying. I think this is to rock myself gently. I think this is to decode. I think this is to unalienate the owner of the coxcomb voices that stare, jabber. The storefront is theirs. Wings mantle over this wheel to order this meal. My ears struck by their fist. That was a double-double, animal style, fries well done. Coke, right, sir? It's not permitted to live without depriving other beings of their lives. This last squeal as the needle goes in and out of each suture between you and I begins with some laceration locomotive that comes onto you like daggers, and I caught here with handfuls of coal, each big-bodied, defenseless eye wants you to lay down on my tracks to sleep beautifully. The coordinates of our cage are fixed in our wet work memory banks that rear up. I dash my hooves into you, weave layers of spurting coaxial cables, whore each image, a witness and defense, and my love of parallel mystery. Join me at the erasure of our joint horizon. Clutched with fiber optic cables, the corrugated aluminum of our shack. Ask, am I emulating the correct pitches of your love songs? Or are the diesel bodies of gods thrumming along my tracks that make deaf our pleas? Please work in Severnakina. And then, as if bleeding before us, it opened. We, with our shivs to the lamb's belly, we painted our faces, told our fortunes in its entrails. Is this awake? Is this work? The multiple unsorted letters all say the same thing, strung out like the radio that lungs 12,000 voices that play 1,200 stations worth of songs chosen by the same closed-door committee. But I confuse them. The difference between being in my body and using my body. The threshold of some time clock. The shock of near death is an awareness of the composite materials we are made of, as if all the laughter curled inside. This one moment of departure, because even this threshold of work is password protected, but our muscles have deeper memory of these rituals than we do. The trickle-up politics of predation lead us to the chalk outline of the supermarket. I decode the mail, and inside each envelope is a wrapped commodity. A fresh wrapped commodity, fresh wrapped and individual for sale, fresh wrapped packaging fresh wrapped packaging fresh wrapped. Thank you. Sorry. The sleep, the philosopher, the cubicle. Am I asleep at work again, an individual for sale? Nietzsche strokes the long nose of the horse, they lean into the quiet wonder of her breathing. Unbit, unbridled, unlashed, unbearable lightness. Am I asleep at work again, interrogating the petroglyph of boredom? The monitor blinks tears from its screen. Someone must reimagine this place as a livable space. Black shock ballows in the hollow grove of their peaks. The cancer slows and sleeps beyond their wings of their solar panels, begins to fly under the fury of the pale moon. A series of lithographs illustrate a horse running herself to death. The close-up of dear woman's mascara, running, her eyes green, running, bored through the celluloid, running, am I asleep at work again, running. The sleep, the foxhole, the angel, the home, collect the dew from the limbs of the fallen long tongues deep inside their gas mask. Imagine being asleep at work again. Imagine being the desperate hand that cranks the air raid siren. The gargoyle leans, its head swept back as the planes came in. Swept back from the sonic assault of its lips to warn of the inbound sleep of work, incoming, the cherubim, their Newtonian masses of fire, every scrambled, networked fighter I impugning, we thrust judgment naked into another and another passerby. Am I asleep at my cubicle again? This omnipresent vacuum cleaner strain, but make no sound as we are sucked in. And if we are American, we are always much too loudly awake at work. Again, are we warming the last potato again over the transistor's tubes? Buzz again, or am I jobless again? The structure again set aside. Am I asleep again? On the couch with my wife and the boys watching TV. The wolf cubs play on the screen, hide and seek in the dandelions, gray tufts blowing and the grass spreading lawn to lawn. Yellow, I rub this dandelion under your chin. Nuzzle, my love. Pollen marking you yellow. Pollen marking you mine. We, as the sunspots, each of us a finger reaching into space to shade our lives, to shade in our eyes. Lift up these heads, let us unweep. To some, the highway is just a high-powered rifle. All along it runs ubiquitous chain-link fences, each rust spot their own fingerprint. We climb up on the rungs of the tender power lines. The earth was just some vehicle for their work. The way the palm trees behave will make much more sense to you when you realize that they are grass. They network. They shed their fawns for aerial antlers that boost the cell signal of the collective good. Shout out along the highways. Aimed with the aid of 10 microscopes, we are a diaspora of use. We are a diaspora of use. A voice is the keen-edged instrumentality of an eye. I am a broken typewriter. I am a broken machine ribbon battered by broken teeth. We are broken. We, broken the incomplete alphabet provided by ancient merchants. We clamber up the poles at night among the cranes and engines of translucent light that lift their towers into the sky. I cling to my vestigial naivete. Even sunset in the foothills is red. The light of the city stoops winged like some ambient predator no tequila could drown. I am strapped up there among the phone lines, soulless, with the long-haul diesels peering through the night scope of blackened light. But I'd always thought that I'd see you again. Black Labrador runs out between the cars. Barely see her as I skid, and she goes under my bumper, the way I like to curl around my family and listen to them sleep. Performing the Mueller maneuver, Dr. Shore assesses his victim with profound sleep apnea. Judged by the possessions of the heart, the panting, the feral start-stop cries of black dog from shivering speakers. Each moment stuck in the throat of now rises like the heat signature off my tires, pushing the earth away. Hold on. Hold on, girl, covered with my coat. She is someone's dog. I carry her home, so curled and shaking in fetal position and half asleep. I feel black shut, clamber down into my nest. His bones, my bones, we laugh, we laugh, we. The in and out across the street from our bedroom window. 1/8 full Pepsi can cola still rolls through the hot yellow lines of the parking lot. How you spend profound moments of your life covered in shit or someone else's ecstasy. For insurance purposes, please initialize lines 2 and 3. Inwardly, mascara reflects in the lives of shared toothbrushes, hot roll of quarters, or shot of atropine, the precise placement of my bed, or your wristwatch, or your wrist in absence of wristwatch. The couple gives up on notions of notoriety, realizes sex is more like synchronized shitting. They both feel relaxed under cross palms of the in and out, neon cars park, leave. She leaves me like keyless entry cars leave, into the dual sunward wonder while I wrestle my inner Marxist as if life were the redistribution of receipts and chicken sandwich wrappers. I know we donate to the roots. No more lies. We are fed into the ground, and from us every vehicle on the road sprouts biconate 2x2 SUVs, smaller versions of ourselves in SUVs, and smaller versions of ourselves in the leaves, and smaller and smaller and smaller. We, the speaker, a closed circuit and 9-volt battery that form the home alarm system. We are hacked and without any senses, without loved ones to come within us. We are home that they set off when the day is done. This is the real love song to the unknown. I held a dying dog on the day of her job interview. I held a dead dog on the day of her job interview. Her fishbowl too much for me to bear walking by. Nothing happens here. We hold hands and pretend we are okay, like the air that hangs between her lungs and mine isn't poison. She peers in like quadraphonic sound. This is the revolution back to now on the turntable of the sky. I am kissed by her hand, and the heat reddens my cheek. Each of my bus transfers requires a few more numb senses. We linger just past the point where reconciliation with my parents is possible, and the landmines that they planted in us have us repeating their amputated lives. Now. And you, dear, standing there with our neighbor's wet fucking dog leaking blood into the floor. No, we are two Japanese fighting fish that stare at each other, mirrors floating upside down in two separate bowls. Love bomb and loving of the moon on the lawn, on our backs looking out of the mirror of you. Their gray yawn is illusion. Only these humans want to lay down in the soil. We shove to bloom, thrust our waiting mouth into the sky, where I want you to open, my struck meteor. We push inside one another, the rainbirds lush us, the circuit of grasses, each cycle alive, live, even trapped in their asphalt, along these lines of their fault. Too hot to touch without tinder, without some sense we are the same. Without you, no I would remain. Leap, O Luna, your tresses, your indecent iridescent tides. Their cities could not disarm us. Their cities could not. Oh, Uncity, you have no right to die. We inside out landfills, the garbage scow land bound, overgrown sunflowers, list of port becomes our veranda. Trailing vines seaward creeping. The world our backyard, where the horns will scream until the last car batteries bleed dry. The unknown, she folds in my arms. This dog, this poor crumpled form of a dog, whimpering in her shock. You stand in your rebar and concertina wire disguise. What I love so much gone from your eyes. Each unsheathed and rattling eye struck her when driving blind. Look at our seas leaking oil into animal forms. Each of us drilling our hard case surmise. Under each promise wilted, lay among my refuse. Braid the Walmart bag into your bramble thatch. Let's curl together around the world and listen to her final breaths, so she knows we are here for her. How could she uncity? How could she let down her coiled copper hair at last? How could she find outside of herself? How could she be outside herself? She wails long distance to her long silenced pod. Thank you.